Welcome to Settled on the Field. How's it going, y'all?
And it's going good. How about you, Jebber?
All right, Liz and Billy, great to see you guys again.
We're back. I feel like I've missed you two. What's going on? Where have you been?
Hey, episode 3, Settled on the Field. Let's do this.
Set on the Field, episode 3. We're back in action. Here we go.
So, last night we had a surprise party for my son who turned 18, and it was pretty hype. We got him good. We got him really good. We were all like hiding in all these different, like up the stairs and around the kitchen and down around the corner. And we had these cannons that shot out confetti.
Confetti pops.
And I will probably be cleaning up confetti for another month because it is everywhere. And I'm like, I don't even know how to clean it up because
Got him good though, huh?
we got him good. It was fun.
Did he scream?
He was just like in shock. He was just in total shock. And then everybody was laughing and hugging him. It was funny because it's like we're like hugging him like they probably had seen him like 2 hours before or something.
Was he at like work or practice or something? Or
he went out to dinner with his girlfriend.
oh, look at that.
Fancy. So that's what I've been
Nice.
up to. What have you guys been up to?
I went and did something yesterday. I signed up to be a Indiana high school baseball, basketball, and football official again.
Oh, he's
Oh my
dropping some,
gosh,
he's dropping
dropping
surprises. Wow.
So-
Talk about a tie-in. Wait till we get to this fellow. Wow.
I ref base.
Good.
There we go.
Man, now you're getting me all. I'd have to follow suit.
I
to follow
wasn't
suit with this
prepared
one.
for the cheering.
Hey, man, I ref baseball for 17 years, football for, 11. Basketball just off and on for 5 to 7, not really full time. And so you sign up, $50
Wait, I got a
up
question
to
for
3
you.
sports.
You did it for a long period of time. How long has it been since you did it last?
So my son's 15, and I quit when he was like 4, 5. Spencer's 11. So when Spencer was born, my second kid, so 11 years.
All right. Hey, so family first was the decision, but now
Yeah.
you see it as a priority due to some things we've been talking about, I imagine.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, wow, there's a ref shortage,
Mhm.
and you're stepping up. That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see what I can do initially, but I know a lot of those guys, so
Now, let
I
me
took-
ask you, if
that's the
I
first
wanted to
step.
be a ref tomorrow, could I do it?
Well, so I'll document my progress on here for us. But yesterday I just signed up, $50. They're going to send me 3 rule books. I got to pick 3 sports, and once I get those sports, I did baseball, football, and basketball. I've also officiated hockey, but that's pretty much wrapping up for the year, so I might get into that next year.
Back in the
But,
States.
50 is an admin fee or for the test exam fee or what do we
So I believe so far $50 gets me the rule books, and I think that gets me into taking the test.
Okay.
And then I
And
got
I know
a separate
that,
email I got to sign up with for the state.
Yeah, depending on the sport, you might have some gear to accumulate if you've got rid of yours, or maybe you've got some stuff that's going to work. How about an association? Did you sign up to one of the St. Joe Valley Association, perhaps, or do you do that after the fact?
Yep. So it used to be St. Joe Valley. Now it's the Northern Indiana Officials Association. And
no big deal.
So I don't know if I signed up for that, honestly, or not. I'll have to look into that better. That's the one I selected.
Wow.
So you're a busy guy. Like, man,
Yeah,
how are
dude.
we going to nail you down, Jeb?
Well, I haven't committed to any games yet, so that's good.
That's true.
You got a little
All
time.
right, so when you're fully, let's just fast forward. You're fully qualified. You got these 3 hats, 3 sports. You're good to go. You got your little zebra stripes. Come fall, and they want you for the, John Adams game Friday night. You don't ever have to say yes, or it's totally your option. How does that look? Or you don't want to just waste your time, but how do you dive in there for I'm available on these dates? Can you touch on that, or is it different?
Yeah, so for baseball, will be the first one this coming spring. So basically, you're going to be in a database, and the schools that need umps are going to go in there, and you set your availability. and if you're available, they send you a email, or it's called a signer. They basically send you, and you say yes or no to that game.
It's like
Is it kind of
Calendly for
like
sports.
it's kind of like being a substitute
Yeah,
teacher? They call you the morning of or
yeah,
2 days before. You probably are going to get a call. Is there any way you could do
right.
it? You know,
So in
you
baseball,
might.
there's lots of rainouts, and I was talking to some friends the other day, and the big problem is the freshmen and the JV games lose their umpires when there's a rainout because they have to do the varsity game first. So
Sure.
Mm.
I was like, man, that stinks for those JV kids. They just cancel the games because they have to steal them for the varsity game.
Yeah, it's been
So
Yeah.
happening more and more at both of those
yeah, you
levels
hear
for
it all
sure.
the time. So I haven't committed to any games yet, but I did throw my name in the hat, and we'll see how it goes from there and what my availability is. I also got two
Uh,
kids.
So I
um,
guess that's a Liz. That's a good transition into the fans. You ready for some heckling, or what do what do you advise somebody new? Maybe myself. I haven't done it before. I know it's a big thing. People are complaining about the calls and no sportsmanship. Is that a big concern? I see it's a big concern on some of the blogs and whatnot for people quitting. What do you think?
Honestly, you don't hear too much of it. They say it, but it doesn't even really matter. You just ignore it.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
you're
always been
But
part
I
of the
mean, I
game
have
at
in the
some point.
past. Yeah, I have in the past, in between innings, gone over to the fence and said, "Hey, stop complaining. Like I could care less who wins. I'm here to call the game right." You know,
Right.
if you get to the point where you got to say something to somebody, they're usually pretty embarrassed at that point and will stop.
And in high school, do typically, I don't know if there's like athletic directors can't be at every game, but I have witnessed athletic directors say this is an extra job for them. They are not here to be heckled. They are here, and if without them, your child cannot play the game. So I hope that people out there who are considering becoming a ref wouldn't let heckling hold them back. I would hope not.
But so that leads into our topic of the day, parents. Where do you start with your kids in sports? And you hear so much about travel sports and Little League and Cal Ripken and travel baseball, travel
Oh, we're
basketball.
we're hearing about it.
My kid's got to play basketball all year round if he wants to play in high school at age 5. Like, so we wanted to give a
Little background to well, this is really our what we have witnessed being parents and friends that have had kids in travel. We've all had our kids in travel at some kind of point or to some kind of an extent. Um I don't know at what age you think your kid needs to specialize. I don't think they ever do. That's my opinion. That's a big sort of argument, I think, among coaches. But I do think there's a lot of coaches out there. You hear them. I love a basketball player who also plays baseball because, that hand-eye coordination is a big deal. You're learning both of those in both of those sports. I love a football player who runs track because he's getting stronger and
Working on that
faster.
speed.
Um, so I think, my opinion is that for the most part, playing multiple sports only enhances you getting better at each sport, and it allows for your kid to determine what do they really like. I don't think they know at age 7, do they?
Yeah, I'd have to say that they shouldn't know. They should just want to be having fun and learning the game and trying to get better. From what I've witnessed, at least, I played basketball and football for myself. I did make a decision going into my senior year of high school, and it was a long time ago, that I needed to focus on football. So I didn't play football or didn't play basketball, but there was a little rift there with the coach. We only had 3 coaches in my 3 years at high school, so it's kind of ridiculous. But what I'm seeing now with my oldest, who's 9, is that there's a push to be in travel everything. You need to be in travel baseball and basketball. Those are his 2 main sports. Be in travel and spend your entire life playing sports. and it affects the rest of the family. Like he's got a younger brother, he's got an older stepsister. Like parents have got to go to multiple things if there's not just one kid. So he's going to be in travel baseball. Actually, he had winter workouts for travel baseball tonight. Okay,
At
so
age 9.
he's
Interesting.
not watching the Bulls or the Pacers or IU or Purdue or North Carolina on basketball night. He's practicing baseball. Which, I mean, we had a discussion as should we do it, and I said let's give it a chance. But he wanted to do travel basketball as well, and we put a stop to multiple travel sports in the same year just to see, can he handle the load on just travel baseball? We made him pick. He says baseball is his favorite for now, so we're going to see how that goes. So definitely going to have feedback for you as the season progresses.
So I have my oldest son's a freshman in high school, and he loves sports. My younger son is into theater and sports and a little bit of everything. So they go to a Catholic school, so from 5th to 8th grade, they get to play sports at the school. But then also, growing up, we had the Cal Ripken Baseball League. But the beauty is, so my 15-year-old played hockey since he was 4, but he played hockey in the winter, and he played school basketball with the caveat to them that he might have to miss for some hockey games. And then he played baseball in the spring, and he also would play school lacrosse in the spring.
All
And
right,
he
Jeb, let me
golfed all
just
summer.
let
First
me
of all, he's a multitasking genius.
let me chime in
He
with a
loves
question.
he loves sports. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he gets
He's
that from his father. Let me chime in with a question that pulls us back to the parental units on the sideline or in the stands. Do you see a difference in parent sportsmanship at a travel or club sport versus at the school or rec? Or is it just kind of the same? Like it's just dependent on Sally or Joe in the stands?
Yeah, it's really dependent on the parent so I'm the athletic director at the grade school, and we just had a girls basketball game, the first one of the year, 6th grade girls basketball. And the one girl on the other team from our school was a very talented basketball player. I was very impressed. But her mom tells her at one point, that's a terrible pass. Like from the crowd, the girl has 19 of the 22 points, and the mom's going to
yeah.
pick a bad pass. But the refs, there was girls that had never dribbled a basketball in a game before playing. And so the refs, let it go when the girl double dribbled a little bit. It didn't affect the game, and it caused an uproar from some parents. And I send out an email every year, just, hey, let the refs ref. They know the girl hasn't touched the ball. Let her play. But just in general, the school sports are a little bit better than the travel sports, but it's really the parent at all levels that they see their kid have some success, and they become so invested in it. I think that they just can't back down.
I think you make a very good point about school sports being there's so many different levels of player. And as a parent, you definitely need to be aware of that and try to encourage them. We are there to encourage the kids. They're playing sports. They're not sitting at home on their phone. They're trying something new.
Yeah,
And
imagine that.
so, they're trying something new, like encourage them, especially these kids that have never played. The last thing you want to do is yell at the ref because this new girl doesn't know how to dribble the ball. And on the flip side, same thing. That girl who's really good, maybe she probably might be involved in travel sports. Maybe she's been playing since she was 4. And then some of the parents, maybe they get used to that competitive, thing that you see at the travel sport level. You got to rein
I
it back
also
a little.
feel like yes, that's the exact synopsis is the parent sees what they can do. They see what the travel is, then coming back to the school. And I think it's a really good opportunity for the athlete to learn to be a leader and to just develop all of their games. So Like, for example, this girl the other night was amazing. Like, she was great. And I felt like she should have been just only dribbling with her left hand, or she
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
been trying
Yeah.
to build up her
Focus.
teammates more,
Sure.
you know?
Focus on what you're not good at, and maybe make that bad pass in an attempt to get your passing to be better.
Right. And
Uh,
just like, it just seemed like, granted, it was the first game of the year, so everything's sort of new to everybody. But I just feel like the opportunity at the school level is there for all level athletes, from your very best to your absolute no clue kid. Like, they can all develop, and it really, a superstar can use that to their advantage because they can build up their teammates and teach their
mhm.
teammates and learn to become even more of a leader.
So
And I
Jeb,
think,
do you see that responsibility on maybe the coach for, if you've got a great player, to have them try to develop other players? And then the second part of the question is what about, how does the athletic director role come in when they not like go to the coach and say, make sure this person passes more or something like that, but the athletic director for the sportsmanship of the parents in the stands?
yeah, so I mean, the athletic director's key. So I send out an email before the start of every season reminding them of what we're there for. Granted, we're a Catholic school, so we got, the Catholic aspect that we can really rely on. But I think at any school, public, Catholic, whatnot, if you communicate to your parents that the goal is to build everybody up, and we're going to play games that are going to be lopsided, we're going to play close games. And your coaches, you really need to give them the expectation to, you know, teach that superstar to help others. And even in practice, if the superstar doesn't need to run the point guard for every, you know, possession in practice, they need to play the center. My niece played with her back to the basket her entire grade school year. And this year, as a freshman in high school, she never once played to the basket, back to the basket. It was all out on the wing. Now, thankfully, they kind of, over the course of the season, the coaches would move them to different positions in practice. So she had experience at it. But so I just, back to my other son, my son, he played every sport, every position, anywhere they told him to go, he went. And so when he's playing hockey, if they're on the power play and the coach needs him on defense, he's not like, oh, I've never played defense. He's like, okay, I'm D this time. Or in lacrosse, if he's playing midfield and then all of a sudden they need him to play attack or defense, he just goes, okay, because he's done it all. Like, we get so involved in trying to win games and get to the high school level, but we don't ever just develop the athlete to learn every position and every angle.
Well, you just hit a whole nother topic on the head, didn't
Yep.
you? That's a
Well,
whole
and
nother topic of, should we care about winning in elementary school?
But I don't.
no.
You should not. But I think it falls on the coach level. As Jeb, have you heard the term transactional versus transformational coach? Like a
Yeah.
transactional, they just want you to run the sprints hard and make the baskets and get the points, and they care about the win only, and they're going to sit the people who can't do anything on the bench. And it's like, you do this for me, you get playing time, you score. It's transactional only in wins and losses, and it's not like any of these people at any level below college are making a ton of money as a coach. So the development of the players is the transformational level. Like, that's the opportunity. You have so much effect on a kid's life to teach them lessons, that if they would focus on that, to be a good team member, to contribute to the team, to hustle whether you're down or not, all those things like that. Obviously, I think that should be the focus, but I think that goes away when you're 0-15 and the AD's like, you might not be here next year. Then they start losing some of that. But
Yeah, I mean, as a middle school athletic director, you're just there for the kids. You get to high school, different story, and I get it. But even like the sport of baseball is probably the best example. You go watch a youth baseball game, you know who the coach's son is, and you know who the best player is on the field by just looking at who the pitcher and shortstop is, right? But when you get to the next level in high school, you're now combining, 6 or 7 different teams that had, you know, shortstops. So
Right.
if you've never played left field, or you've never caught, or you've never played first base, you are pigeonholed into one spot going against 6, 7, 8, 12 kids. So as a coach, I've always moved my kids around. I mean, yes, in the championship game, we probably stuck to one position, one batting, certain lineup.
Sure.
But as a kid and as a parent, I want my kid to experience every position. So, for example, my own son, he caught, pitched, short, third, left, center, right, first, and second. Oh, I just named every position on the field,
Hey, look at that.
right?
Wait, let me ask, were you
Yep.
his coach?
So I was, but then
See? What a good
there were
coach.
times where he played for other people on different teams, and they would say, "What position is he?" And he would say, "Anywhere. Like, where do you need me?"
So that is a good point I want to bring up. So my younger son played basketball. Now, in these rec leagues, a lot of the coaches they're volunteers, they're dads, they're just like, we can't find anybody. Maybe this dad has never coached ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Right.
when he played, he really was not at this age very into it. He was more there for the social aspect,
Yes.
maybe not so much putting in the effort that some of the other kids were, but he was also like brand new. And so he didn't play. He played maybe like a couple minutes here and there, but it was highly irritating as a mom who's bringing your kid to practice every night.
And I'm sure to him.
And to him, he's not, like at the time, maybe not, because I'm talking about when he was pretty little. But you bring up a good point. As a parent, you can speak up about that. Like, hey, I just want him to try all the different positions. He's never going to get better if you don't let him try. And so what would you advise? Like, how does you have, if you have a coach that's not doing that, how do you broach that topic as a parent?
Exactly. You got to reach out to them and let them know your kid doesn't just play basketball. He does lots of other things. And
Yeah,
so he needs to be able to experience the different positions. And that's really, as a parent looking at what you're going to do with your kids at a young age, you want to find programs that are going to allow for kids to do other things. If it's just one and done and you have to be here, if you miss, you don't get to play, or if you aren't the best, you're not going to play, then that's not the program you want to be in.
Mhm.
So, maybe for one season it is, but then I would quickly look for another place.
Yeah. We learned that quickly. That was on
yeah.
to the next
I would add that
situation.
there's a time and a place to have that conversation with the coach, and it's not at practice. 5 minutes into practice, you stuck around and you want to watch. And you're like, hey, how come he's not doing this too? I mean, maybe hold that for your conversation for after practice, and doesn't also need to be on the field after practice. It could be you probably have their phone number, you probably have their team reach, or whatever communication. Say, can we set up a time to talk? Because you don't want to look like the over involved person thinking your kid needs to be on the field immediately and at this certain position either, because it's not going to go well. And then guess what? The coach is not going to put them in, and they're going to get less time.
Yes, you want to give like a 24-hour rule after games, wait, communicate with them the proper channels. And remember, they're volunteers, so maybe they are just making a mistake or have never done it. So finding the right program and, asking your friends and other people around are good ways to figure out what works and what doesn't work. But just having giving your child lots of opportunities and different games and sports and freedom, like you got to let them be a kid too. So anybody that's going to really push one direction, one sport, you really got to look deep into what they're trying to accomplish, because for your own child, the more they do, the more that's going to stick and the more fun they're going to have.
And I think there probably are kids out there, right, that are just like, they just are awesome, right away at baseball or softball or basketball or whatever it is they're doing. And therefore they do love it. And they are like, I want to do travel. Like, sounds like Billy's kid is like that, like he's really good at it. So he wants to do it. And I think that that's another indicator of moving forward with travel is if your child is excited about it and they're not like, "Oh, I gotta go to practice again." Because that's a quick way to end travel for me if you're
Yep.
complaining about having to go.
Yeah. If you don't want to go to practice, then you're not in the right sport, or you're doing
Yes.
too much of it.
Oh well, so okay, so let me tell you, talking about parents. So I'm a parent. I actually helped coach his team. We got a little trophy back here. It's no big deal. Little league baseball. But when we're at home and I want to maybe give him a pointer, or we're just shooting hoops in the driveway, and I start to overcoach, like not just play, just coach. Like it's immediately apparent the little man does not want to hear me coaching him. And so you have to take your coach hat off if you're at home. Just play, just have fun. And sometimes it's, for me, that's a hard thing to do because I would just want to help him. But he's like, he doesn't need to be coached every single shot. Hey, put your elbow in or whatever, right? But
Yeah, that takes the fun
sometimes
out of it.
they get frustrated. So I just ask him, like, do you want to hear something? Like, and then I just limit it to maybe one thing a session,
That's a wonderful tip.
Just let the coach be the coach.
Yeah, and I coached my kids in every sport they've ever played, and that drive home from a game or a practice was time to, I took my whistle off, and if he wanted to talk about something at practice or about the game, he could talk about it. But I never once, I can't say never once, but very, very, very few times did I bring up a practice or a situation in the game or practice. I just let him, if he wanted to vent about something or talk about something, we did. But it was time to just leave it there and be a dad. And I think it really helped our relationship, but it also helped with like him not being bothered by me being his coach because I wasn't constantly coaching him. But I do the same thing as you in the driveway, so that's
Yeah.
that's
And
just
then,
Well,
like,
that
being a
is
parent.
that's a tough dynamic to be the coach and the dad. So that's good.
Yep.
You could kind of take off the gas
Yeah.
pedal a little bit.
I don't know. I see Jeb wearing his USA hat, and I got a hat on. I'm trying to do a little different hat every episode. I don't
Are
know
you
what.
both? Is both racing? Is there a racing
Well,
theme
mine is
happening?
Napa racing. I got this long, nasty hair now, and so I thought I'd represent a little NASCAR. Looking forward to an Indy race. But Jeb, what do you think about? What do you think of USA coming up this summer in Paris?
Oh man, I can't wait for the Olympics. We talked about it last time, learned about some new sports. So here at the end of this podcast, we'll talk about one of the new sports as well. But
All
A
right.
Olympics is going
teaser.
to be awesome.
Looking forward to that. And dude, I'm still in shock you dropped that on us. We've been texting and conversating all day and week, and my man drops the sign up. Is it official sign up through ihsaa.org, or where do you go for that?
Yep, ihsaa.org, man. It took me literally 4 minutes.
Okay. Maybe I have a little surprise for you later. We'll see.
So
For now.
with that, let's transition into the rule of the day.
All right. Let's
What
hear
is the rule of the day? I'm excited to hear it.
All right. Everybody got their rule books out?
I got
All
mine.
right. As we're getting closer to the end of the season for our winter sports, we've talked a little football, basketball. Tonight we're talking hockey. So I was a hockey official for, I can't remember exactly, 6 or 7 years. But this one's an interesting one. So have you ever seen a kid break a stick, or basically break a stick, or throw a stick to try to stop a player?
Oh,
Wait. Specifically to try to stop someone, or just in action they lose their stick up in the air? Because we saw that in Carmel, the Adams game. It was like on a face-off, and then they were behind the net, and the action started going the other way, and the other guy hit his stick, and it just went flying up in the air, and he looked around like, man, I don't know if you caught it or not. You might have been.
Yeah, no. So that happens. That could be an inadvertent,
Sure.
loss of stick.
is inadvertent is different though than what you're talking about.
Yep. So we're talking rule 637, throwing a stick or an object.
Wait, what other object would you
Does
throw?
a glove count?
Your helmet?
Yeah, your glove, your water bottle from the
Okay.
bench.
Okay.
The big one is that you see in the NHL a lot is a broken stick. So a guy takes a big slap shot and his stick breaks.
Yeah, and then
All
they
right.
flip the part they have. Yeah.
They're required to let go of that stick. They cannot carry that stick. Once your stick is broken, you're required to release it. You cannot throw it. You can't. Now, if you slide it towards the boards or gently, even though nothing in hockey is gentle.
They don't want any Buffy the Vampire action out there with a broken stick.
Exactly. So you can't hit somebody with it or throw it at anybody. All right.
But you can gently slide it to the side to get it out of the way.
Side, get it out of the way. Yep. And then you can go get a new stick from the bench. So basically, if you do throw your stick or hold on to a broken stick, it's a minor penalty. All right. A minor penalty is just a 2-minute penalty. You go sit in this penalty box for 2 minutes. It is a delayed penalty. So if, say, I'm playing Billy and Billy's team has the puck and I throw my stick, not at anybody. We're still talking about just throwing my stick.
Yep.
It's a 2-minute delayed penalty. So Billy's team possesses the puck. The whistle doesn't get blown until my team gets possession of the puck.
Then they blow, and then you got to get sent.
Then I go to the box for 2 minutes.
Okay.
The unique aspect of this penalty is if Billy's team has possession of the puck and they're in the offensive attacking zone. So Billy's trying to score on my goal.
We're always on the attack.
Yep, Billy's team is on the attack and they're inside the blue line. So they're near the goal they want to score on. If my teammate or myself takes my stick and throws it at somebody, we're inside the blue line. But if I throw it at somebody that does not have the puck, it's still just a 2-minute minor penalty. All right.
Yeah, I see where this is going.
What if I throw the stick person that is in possession of the puck in the attacking zone?
It's got to be a major. You're trying to interrupt my shot that's coming, and you're affecting play, which the intent of the delay is to let that play out. And when I don't score, then you blow the whistle because you have possession. So if I'm about to either shoot or pass, you interrupt me, then that you're doing it with a weapon.
You're correct in that that's a bigger penalty. It's not actually a major. So a major would be a 5-minute penalty. And now in all levels of hockey, except for the professional and collegiate and above, 5-minute major penalty is also a game misconduct. So if you commit a 5-minute major, you go to the penalty box for 5 minutes and you're ejected from the game. So someone else actually sits your 5-minute penalty.
Oh, wow.
That's like a double penalty.
Right.
You're out completely and someone else sits for 5. Wow.
You're out of the game. And when a 2-minute penalty, which is called a minor, if the team that is on the power play, the team that has the numerical advantage on the ice, if they score in that 2 minutes, the person in the penalty box would simply just come back out and we'd both play 5-on-5 hockey again. If it's a major penalty, the team that is in the numerical advantage that was offended, they can score as much as they want in that 5 minutes, and that guy never comes out of the box.
Stays in the box, yeah.
Right. But so back to throwing a stick. So Billy has the puck. He's in the attacking zone, and I throw my stick at him. It's not quite a major penalty, but there's 2 options for the offended team. So Billy's team could either pick a 2-minute minor penalty and be on the power play, or they could elect the person that had possession of the puck and they would get a penalty shot. So it would be a 1 on the goalie penalty shot from center ice.
That's the coach's decision?
Yes, it would be the coach's decision.
Hockey is a wild place. Like I don't know the rules.
Place.
I'm learning the rules and I'm excited because I don't know. There's a lot going on.
Let me tell you
so
something.
Fast.
That's why people need to listen to this podcast. You don't know all the rules, right? You don't know what to expect as a parent going into travel, or hey, we need you as an umpire today because the guy's not here. You don't know what to expect when your kid's going into possibly the college level and what the new recruiting and the NIL. You can't possibly know it all. But listening to us, we don't know it all either, but we're learning every day and we're passing that along.
We're going to give it to you. This penalty is unique because you will see it sometimes where kids in desperation mode chasing from behind and might throw a stick ahead to get the kid. So if he's attacking the net, he's in the attacking zone, it can be a penalty shot.
If he throws the stick, is he aware, like, I guess it's worth it? In my mind, he's thinking this is worth it? Because you're going to get called on it.
So
they might not know the rule, number one, and then you also just might be frustrated and in the heat of the moment and go, oops.
Yep, and there will be times where you accidentally throw it and it's still a penalty. There's no intent, but if you throw your stick. So just to add to this, let's say Billy's team has the puck and he's in his defensive end, right? So he's not scoring. He's trying to get the puck out of the zone, and I'm on the attacking end, and I throw my puck at Billy, who's in possession of the puck. Does he get a penalty shot in that instance? He's all the way at the other end in his defensive zone.
I don't know.
I'm going to go with yes based on your tone.
I'm going to go with a face-off inside the blue line in the other end.
So, yep. So that is correct. It would be a penalty, a 2-minute minor penalty. There's no possibility of a penalty shot. That only happens because the person in possession of the puck was in the attacking zone.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the last one. Have you ever seen where they pull the goalie at the end of the game to try to score, to tie it up, or to win?
Yeah. Yep. Trying to one-man advantage.
Yep. So let's say the goalie is out of the net. 6 skaters on the ice. You're trying to tie the game up. You're down by a goal. So we'll say I pulled my goalie. He's at the bench. We have 6 skaters versus Billy's 5 skaters. Billy's skater has a breakaway now, and he's going towards the empty net with the puck, and one of my teammates throws a stick at him. Let's say it's the goalie from the bench slides his stick out at him, or a water bottle. Now what do you have?
Penalty shot. I don't know.
Breakaway on an empty net.
Oh.
I don't think it's just a goal given. I'd say a penalty shot.
Breakaway on an empty net.
It's a goal given, man. He had a breakaway on an empty net, and somebody threw a water bottle.
I mean, that's drastic. You're just throwing water bottles from this. You can't do that in any sport.
Right.
But hockey,
it's an automatic goal.
You can't just be throwing your water bottle onto the field.
Ring it up. Automatic shorty ring up.
It's like a Wild West on the hockey field.
I like it.
Rule 637, throwing sticks or objects in hockey.
I like
Thank
that.
you for the rule of the day, Jebber. All right, Liz, we're coming over to you for that Beyond the Bench recruiting tip of the day. What do you got for us?
And since we were talking a little bit about what it's like to be a part of travel sports, what it's like to be a parent in travel sports, sort of what the behavior is like. Let's talk about parents' role in recruiting and, how far does the parent go into the recruiting part of your kid's journey? So your child needs help. They don't know what they're doing unless they listen to Beyond the Bench and they take my rules to heart.
Listen up. Here we go.
That being said, you're going to need to help them. You're going to need to guide them. They don't know where to begin, just like most of us don't until we just start.
Just like the FAFSA form.
Just like that FAFSA, which I just filled out, and I'll be happy to give you tips on that as well.
Good luck, people.
If you have a question about the FAFSA, please email me at settledonthefield@gmail.com. I did just fill it out, and actually they've made it a lot easier from what I hear. And it was way less questions from what I hear than last year. So That being said, as a parent, you do need to help guide your child. You need to help them ensure their grades are staying up. Obviously, they're going to practice, they're going to their games, they're making their films, they're filling out recruiting questionnaires. That will be the tip of the day on the next episode.
Right.
But the parent needs to guide them. They need to make sure that, they're posting on their X profile, they're posting appropriate things on their X or Twitter sports profile. And more importantly, or most importantly, that the child is seeking advice from their coach. So their coach is a big help and is going to have a big determination when it comes down to coaches selecting them to play, especially if um, they're a really good player, but there might also be another 800 really good players just like them that they're just debating between. Um, the coaches at any school is going to go they're going to go to your child's head coach and ask them, do they come to practice on time? What kind of character do they have? What's their family like? Is their family in the stands yelling at the refs every game? They probably don't want to hear that from the coach. So as a parent, you want to be helpful, you want to guide them, you want to guide them to ask questions of their coach, because the coach knows a lot about the recruiting process because it is part of their job
I
to
would
help them.
say I would say there's going to be various levels of the coach's expertise on this, but you should assume that the coach knows more than you if you're just a first
Sure.
time parent of this situation, right? The coach will probably know more than you, or they'll know they don't know, but there's going to be someone in that conference they can reach out to.
Sure. Of course, there's always going to be coaches at different levels. Some coaches might be first year coaches and they don't know anything about it. And I know more than them. But they are there to at least help guide you, and at the same time they're going to give their opinion on your sportsmanship and on how you are as a player and how you are as a student. They see you in school every day. Are you on time to school? Are you respectful to your teachers? That's the kind of information they can give the coach, whether or not they are out there helping you with your recruiting process. They are going to be a good person to give you a recommendation to those coaches. And so, on that side as well, once your child is in high school, as we were talking about before, I might have earlier, when my child was in first grade, wanted to talk to the coach about playing time. Once they're in high school, that's really not on you as a parent anymore. That is really on the child, at least at first, to go to the coach. And I like Jeb's rule, the 24-hour rule. My son's coach used to say that 24-hour rule as well. You go to a game, they didn't get as much playing time as you wanted, or they got yanked out of the game for something. Wait about 24 hours, talk to your kid first to see what happened. And then if you're still upset, go back to the coach and ask them why. But I would send your kid first, especially if they're in high school too. Send your kid to their, I don't know, in every sport it's slightly different, but in football, for instance, they have a positions coach. Send him to their position coach, their direct coach. In track, they have a positions coach. In probably most sports, there's more coaches than just the head coach. So if they're not getting the playing time they want, or if they're not progressing the way you think they should be, make sure your child is going and asking, what's going on? What do you see? What do you
Right,
see that I'm not
that
doing right?
that 24-hour rule. I mean, that's good advice to anybody, right? Let the heated emotions just slow down a notch. Take a breath. Think about it. Think about actually discussing what angle you're coming at. I like that.
And else for your players, that 24 hours gives them a chance to think about what they've done for the last week. Were they,
Right.
were they a problem child in practice? Were they lazy in practice? Did they deserve to be playing more?
Yeah.
The heat of the moment, the cool off period gives you a chance to just evaluate yourself. And as a parent, I think that would be the first thing I would ask him is, have you done everything you can, or him or her? Have you tried your hardest? Like, is there a reason outside of just the competition level or your ability that is hindering your playing time?
Absolutely. Like the coaches see what's going on. They don't We don't know. We only know one side of the story, right? Like when your kid comes home from practice and he's all mad about something. Well, we're
Correct.
only hearing the, 14-year-old version of what happened. So, so let it settle, ask those follow-up questions like Jeb just mentioned before you go to the coach. So that's a big tip. That's a big parent tip that you'll learn. The coaches typically tell you that because they've probably um heard from some parents in their day. But I would say heed that because you want them on your side, really, especially if it comes down to the recruiting process. And then another tip when it comes to recruiting, you as the kid, you as the player, should ask your coach, where do you think I fit in what college, what level do you think I could play? Do you think I could play D1? Do you think I could play D3? Do you think I can even play in college? Because I don't want to follow this path if you think I'm not improving or I'm not going to get to where I want to be. So ask them that. I would say every year at the end of the year. Where do you see and how am I developing and where should I be searching? What's my goal? Am I
What can I work on?
what can I work on? Of course. And understand that they are seeing this through as a parent, you might see them through rose-colored glasses. You're thinking my kid's going straight to the MLB.
And they also have multiple years, maybe more than your 4 years, or if you got 2 or 3 kids, more than your 12. They may have been in coaching for a lot longer than that. And they also see it times how many kids are on the team. So, and they've heard from all the other parents. So they're gathering experience every day on these situations.
Liz, on the recruiting trail, did the coaches reach out to you directly sometimes, or was it always through your son and then what he told you, or was there ever like,
Or through the coach.
I mean,
It
yeah, I
was
know like some coaches will just directly recruit through the coach, but was there ever, a time where you were contacted? Uh,
only
to
when I would go in person. So I
Okay,
never had a coach reach out to me directly via phone, via email. That might happen to people. That never did happen to me. Now, when we would go, like, cause we'd go to camps or go be invited to like junior days or, um, just any kind of special recruiting event, they will then talk to you then. The coaches
okay.
will talk to you. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions. Um, and I'm sure that I will say there was one experience where the coach gave me his number, and was chatting with me about an injury that Isaiah had. So
Hmm.
there was a little of that and just like giving me some advice on where to take him to have it looked at and that kind of thing. So I would imagine it does happen as they become more interested in your kid as a recruit, but in the beginning it's definitely mostly through the player.
Awesome.
Do you think they're assessing family dynamics on any level? Like, I don't know, you're being respectful and you're asking questions, you're interested, and they can see it reflected through your son or daughter as well. Or do you
100%. Like I'm sure that like if I went there as a parent to some kind of like junior day and I was, kind of acting a fool or like demanding attention or
yeah.
being rowdy or whatnot, that is probably not reflected well on the player. Um, so they're definitely taking a look at that. And is the player respectful to their family is another big thing. Did you just drive or fly your kid 5 hours away and he's like talking down to you?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to see that. That's for sure. So they are definitely assessing some of that for sure.
I just saw a recruiting tip online the other day. It was for a junior hockey coach, and he would go and sit in the lobby ahead of an hour and a half before the game because kids typically are there an hour before the game, and he'd watch them walk in the lobby And if you've ever been to a hockey rink, those kids are carrying bags that are bigger than them usually.
Yeah.
Maybe as big as them, and with 2 hockey sticks. And he would sit there and watch how they walked in the door and whether they would step to a side and hold the door for the person behind them, or if they would just let the door close. He would, and if the kid walked in and there was someone behind him and he didn't step to the side and open it for him or hold it for him or acknowledge, the situation, he would almost just not even watch the kid at that point.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's just one of those things being a good person. But when you go in, you're trying to go to the next level and every little thing matters. So just like you said, on a recruiting trip, if you're walking into the facility and you're walk in and don't even hold the door for your own mom, like a coach sees that, like that's a red flag immediately.
On the bench segment for today, I'm going to pass it on over to Billy Kruep for the Walk-On Warrior workout.
All right, Liz. Hey, thanks for those great tips. I know I'm listening. I'm hoping to have to use the tips here in several years from now. But for the Walk-On Warrior segment, got a couple of interesting things to pass along. But I'm going to dive right into the Walk-On Warrior workout of the week. Remember to hit up that hashtag WOWWOW. Now, look, what we've given you so far were some minor challenges, not necessarily workouts. There was a cold shower we talked about. It's invigorating.
Good way to wake up.
Good way to wake up. Maybe after you're super hot, you want to take one. We talked about going on that cardio equipment that you don't like, get that warm up in. I think we had that discussion maybe in the intro about whether you're a predator or prey, you need to be running. So I know you're all going to be hitting the pavement, running miles. Don't run too much. Run what your coach explains and lays out for you. But what you definitely need to be thinking of, this goes for any sport, is working on your explosiveness. So explosiveness is the key word of the day. And there's going to be 3 to 5 things that you're going to get tested on that people are going to wonder what your time is, what your measurables are. Okay. Your vertical. If your vertical is like Billy Krueper's was in the beginning of 24 inches, and at your best day, you could tip a rim, you could never dunk, you might need to work on that vertical. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2 is
I could only get the net, man.
Man, you need to work on it. Okay.
Maybe the pad on the bottom of the backboard.
Look, if you show up and we're at spring training and we're inside the gym and we do some football drills, this is a football related angle here, and we're having some fun at the end, and all of a sudden this guy is 5'9" and he can dunk, I'm like, wow, that guy's got some explosiveness. I did not know. I need to get him the rock. So vertical will be tested, and if you've never tested your vertical, it feels very awkward because normally, like if I say, Jeb, let's see how high you can jump, he's going to take a step back and put his feet together and jump up. Well, you don't get to do that on a vertical test. You got to keep your feet together and bend at the knees and explosiveness, and reach up. So there's techniques, and I recommend you looking them up on YouTube, techniques for the proper reach, the proper jump, all that, but you need to train on it. You can train on it anywhere, so there should be 0 excuses. You can just get down in a squat and hold that, and you're training for a vertical. The broad jump. The broad jump is something most people don't just go do on a pickup basketball court or the volleyball court or before a hockey practice, okay? So the broad jump could be awkward to you. Similar to the vertical, you're not going to be able to do a running and get your feet there. You're standing still on 2 feet planted, bend down, and jump straight forward. You may have had this test in middle school once, or
So
maybe high school gym.
Jump. It's not the long jump. You don't get to run into it?
No, broad jump off of 2 feet. Now, if
You
they
just
test you for the
explain the broad jump. Stand and jump.
I mean,
right? And then they measure it.
Jump forward.
You don't get to run and then jump. You have to just stand there and see how far you can jump.
Okay, correct. I can get 36 inches on that.
36. I think we're looking for something at least longer than your body height.
Okay, I looked it up.
Go ahead.
I
You looked
looked it
what up?
up. The average broad jump, I don't know if this is for men or women, just says the average broad jump is 7'3". That
There you
seems
go.
like a lot.
Most people are not 7'3". So it
No.
seems
That
like a
seems like
lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
The first time you do it,
I
you're
can't
gonna
long jump
jump.
7'3".
You're gonna jump, and you're not gonna know how to land. So just think about a long jump land is when you don't want your feet to drag in the sand. It's the same thing with the broad jump. You want you kick your feet out a little bit so you get your distance, but you don't want to fall backwards. Okay, so
I'm gonna need
that's why you
video
got.
of both of you doing
Okay,
the
this is
broad
good.
jump.
Hey, I got bad knees these days, but let me tell you a couple other things you want to work on. If everyone isn't saying the 40 before I said it, you should be checked. The 40-yard dash, you're going to get checked on. Now, how do you work on your 40? You've got to run it. And you can't just go run 40-yard sprints. Now, you can do that and get winded and get practice. But you've got to have somebody timing you, because data goes a long way in letting you know that you're making progress, letting you know that you're getting faster, letting you know that what you did for the past 2 weeks didn't work at all, and maybe you need to seek some other workouts. But work on those items right there. They're going to be measurables. They're all about your explosiveness. In the next episode, I'm going to give you a couple weightlifting tips and some things to do for those specific things. But you definitely got to work on that vertical, the broad jump, the 40-yard, and what I would say is work on your 10-yard. Work on your 10-yard sprint out of the gate, because we're not at track. You're not going to have blocks. So if you're a track guy, I'm glad you're faster than me, but you're not going to have blocks. Okay. So 10 yards, get the jump going.
The start is very important to that 40-yard
Yes,
dash. You got to start good.
exactly.
Start low, start fast. If you give a bad start, that could shave 0.5
Low,
seconds.
low, fast, and turnover to get yourself going. All right. So Jeb has mentioned the fact that he just signed up at the ihsaa.org, which, for those of you not in the great state of Indiana, is the Indiana High School State Athletic Association. But I have something else to tell you, and I had this, which is why I was so surprised when he dropped it, is what we're going to do is we're going to introduce, it's going to be a 501c nonprofit-based donations to raise money for veterans to become referees. It's going to be called Vets to Refs. Just think about it. If one person donates $50, now I can go do exactly what just Jeb did, and I don't have to worry about it. Now you might say, well, why am I donating the $50 to that person and not my neighbor who wants to do it? By all means, you can donate as much money as you want, or you can help them and not donate to us. But we have a shortage of referees, officials, and umpires. So get those other people involved. Yes.
And if
Why?
they're a veteran, refer them to us because we love to get them in the program. We want to get our IHSAA up to where they need to be, where they're not struggling to find referees for the games, and our kids don't have to have canceled games.
We want
Exactly.
the whole country to join in on this.
Absolutely.
Michigan, Ohio, Hawaii, Alaska. If you know a
That's right.
veteran that wants to be an official, or you know a veteran that's looking for a way to get back into sports, or just got back home from overseas, refer them to us. We'd love to help them get their sign up taken care of. We'll help them find equipment, help them pay for new equipment. We're trying to make it so that these guys, it's a turnkey process, so that this veteran has a structure and he or she has the ability to go and join our communities and help with youth sports, high school sports.
You said it,
Uh,
Jeb.
if
So
they can
look,
get into collegiate sports, we'll help them do that too.
yeah, when we say veteran, and what I'm thinking is we're talking about active duty, National Guard, those in transition to become a civilian, those people who are retired, been out for 4 years like myself. Anybody, take a look at our website, https://settleonthefield.com. Take a look at it, and you're going to see the link of Vets to Refs as a donation button. But here's the other side of this is not only do we need refs, but a veteran, of course, it's not all of them, but those that are interested are going to be nearly a perfect fit for this situation. We talked about parents heckling and all that. Look, they're used to structure. They're used to maybe putting somebody in their place if they need to. They're used to playing sports and being physically fit.
Following the
Like,
rules.
we're not saying you have to get out and do this. We're saying we'd like you to consider it. I'd say Jeb pointed out the most important thing to me is when you transition out, is you don't have that sense of community. You lose that sense of camaraderie from your unit, your squadron, etc. And you might be moving to a different location. You might not be familiar with that community. Maybe you're moving back home. Maybe you're moving somewhere else. And to learn the area, to be involved in something, so you don't necessarily go out and get involved in drinking every night, or you don't, you get to meet people that are your neighbors that are going to the game. You get to meet the coaches. You can be out there and improving those lives of the kids in the area. So that's why we thought of this. That's why we're putting it together. The money side is going to be nonprofit, so we're going to spread that money out. Jeff just said it was $50 for what he signed up for. I'm hoping we can get a little bit more per person that's interested. That way we can help them with some gear. But just dropping that on you. So I'm excited to
This
see what we
is
can do.
like this was a great idea when it came up a year or two ago. It's an even better idea today. And now
We still have the problem, so we're going to go ahead and try to solve it, or at least help.
Yeah, I think you hear a lot in the youth sports. I know as an athletic director, but even as a coach and a parent, games getting canceled because of lack of officials. And the veterans, they come home. They, like Billy said, they want structure. They're used to structure. This is going to give them an opportunity to join a built community. Officials are very tight knit. I mean, every guy I've ever reffed with, if I see them at the mall or at dinner, I'm immediately going up to them and giving them a hug and asking how they're doing, and if I know about their wives or their kids. So this is just you're going basically from a military family that you leave. I mean, Billy, you might be able to expand on how a veteran feels when they come home, because they're going from being with the same people all the time and the same routines to back home, maybe even living with their parents, because a lot of veterans are still young. This gives them an opportunity to get back into sports and to just go find people that have, you know, similar ideas as far as the sports world goes. And I mean, the kids need us to be officials. So this is going to be an awesome opportunity. And I'll tell you what, when you walk into any arena, gym, football stadium as an official, you demand respect just by wearing that uniform. Just like if I see somebody in the military uniform or a military hat comes into my store, I immediately just, they have my respect, they have my, admiration and just thankfulness. And so I think as an official, this is just going to give these veterans another avenue to just keep their life going in a upward trajectory, a rocket ship to the next level.
Yeah, and Jeb, I appreciate you saying that, and I know that we all feel that respect given to us from a good portion of those throughout society. That's something that you don't see. So maybe one of the things that you miss. You come out, you don't have the camaraderie, you don't have the same group of people that you are working with shoulder to shoulder. Some people in the trenches, some people in their planes together, air crews, etc. The community, the respect, the ability to be active. I mean, right off the bat, you could do this while you're active duty and ref games in the rec league. You could be an umpire for the softball league that you're at and get your qualifications, get your time up before you transition out. The transition space for veterans is a huge space. I dip my toe in it a little bit, like through work, and we have the DoD Skill Bridge program that helps people transition. But this is just a whole nother avenue where I just feel like most people sit around and they'll talk sports. They're going to be talking about the Super Bowl coming up, so why not be involved and be the man in the arena and be involved on the field and help to settle it on the field the proper way, right? You all know checklists. You all have the rules written down. You're all used to that. So I'd say join Jeb and join myself and putting your hat in the ring and try to make this happen. I haven't done it yet, but I'll update you when I do. I'll tell you one thing as to while it's been a little slower for me to do it. I had a couple of injuries. I'm not going to nag about it because motion is lotion. I'm going to keep moving, keep doing the thing so my body can stay capable. And that's not my line. That's from Dr. Teresa Lawson. So let me just throw her name out there. But one other thing that I signed up for, and you see my helmet right here, I signed up to be a true Cardinal mentor to the football team at Ball State. And I just heard back that I'm going to be included. So I'm super excited about that. It's February, so on Valentine's Day. Yeah, thanks. On Valentine's Day, a double clap. Valentine's Day is when they're going to do the matches. So it's kind of funny. But I won't know that until later in the month. We get matched up. We'll have like a big Zoom call and some, guidelines and all that. And then I'll be able to meet whoever that is. And so it's just another chance to mentor. It's just like you're going to miss that as a veteran coming out because you used to train the person coming up behind you to do the job. Everybody's used to doing that. So I'm hoping to reach out to them and help either whether it's one or multiple people. Maybe it's going to be walk on. We don't know. Whether it's about football or school or what they want to do with their life. I'm excited.
Is their goal to have one person per is it all seniors or is it all like the whole team or do you know any of that info?
I don't know. I asked for some more information today. I think it probably just depends on how many they get to sign up. And then cool. On the flip side, how many of them are interested? Yeah.
Well, I'll be interested to hear how that goes. That's awesome. You guys have all this life excitement happening.
This right here, this friendship and this action right here has brought a lot into my brain. Like I need to get more involved with this. And I watch sports and I talk about it, but I haven't been involved other than as a parent, which I think is very important. But, I'm excited to keep the toe dipped and to see where else this podcast can take us.
Very exciting. Good job.
That's just super awesome, Billy. I can't wait to hear about your mentor program with Ball State, and I can't wait to the vets to refs, man. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be so pumped the first time I officiate with a vet, man. It's actually, I know a couple of guys that I've already officiated are veterans, so I'm going to get them involved. And I think they'll be just ecstatic.
All right, man.
Yeah, we are excited to give back to the community, and we hope you're willing to help us out.
Just in summary of what we just talked about is that workout of the week. Think explosiveness. Okay, in whatever you're doing, think explosiveness. On our website, don't forget vets to refs. We're going to talk about it much more in the future, and you'll see some things coming out there. And then as far as the mentor thing, look, I'm excited to do it, but it's all related. It's about giving back, being in the community, and helping those out that are coming up behind you. But I think that's all I got for this segment. I'll kick it over to Jeb, back to that USA hat. Veterans over to the USA. What do you got for us as far as Olympics coming up?
USA. All right. So we've been talking about the Paris Olympics and 208 days away from it just updated. 175 days away from the Paris Olympics.
Look at that. Look at that update.
And the actual Olympic Games are 175 days away. So
there you go.
Two exciting events.
Summer is coming.
It is coming. So basically, we've been talking about the new sports that are going to be held in the Olympics this year in Paris. We talked about breakdancing. We talked about sports climbing. And now in episode 3, we're talking surfing.
Wow.
Surfing is the new sport for the Olympics.
Surfing in Paris.
Yeah, where do they go surf in Paris? French Polynesia.
Actually, it's going to take place over 4 days. And they're going to have shortboard for the men's and the women's. And so basically, it's only shortboard, no longboard. If you know the difference between the two, you're really smart.
Probably more
got to-
tricks on the shortboard would be my thought.
Yeah.
So the venue is Tahiti.
Ooh, Tahiti. Now, are
Tahiti.
we gonna be live on the scene in Tahiti?
I mean,
think we might be. We might have to be. I mean,
I mean, that would be nice. That would be
that
nice.
would be fantastic.
so I don't know about you, but I'm actually really excited to watch some surfing because if you've seen some of those like YouTube videos or things of people surfing just massive waves. But this is going to be the best of the best in the world that have honed their skills. And this is the first time they're going to be in the Olympic Games as
Do
competing in surfing. So,
we
we'll
have
have
any
to maybe.
indication? You have any indication as to how many countries are going to participate? I mean, I would imagine there's a plethora, but I don't know that. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but maybe the best countries at snow skiing might not be so good at surfing.
Well, it doesn't say how many are actually going to enter.
That's fair.
It
I'm
might
sure
be
they
too
might not even
soon,
have a full list. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they might.
Um,
They possibly still haven't named all the people involved yet.
they probably do some kind of a trial, and maybe the trials take place. That'll be interesting to follow when the trials take place all around the world. Maybe, or maybe they even do the trials there, just like the week before, because with something like that,
Yeah, they got to have the weather, and
it's
it's got to be in
unpredictable, that
local.
weather, right? Like, got to be there at the right time.
It's not
The
like
waves.
it's not like a swimming pool that they put inside a Lucas Oil
Yeah.
for Olympic.
Which
You know,
we will definitely be checking that out for sure. I'm gonna see some of these Olympic swimmers swimming inside Lucas Oil Stadium, putting in a huge
That'll be
Olympic-sized
awesome.
pool. That's gonna be
Yeah.
a really cool transformation.
I mean, could you imagine those people? I mean, yes, you're trying to already you're going to make the Olympic team, but you're also going to be swimming in one of the biggest venues, and it's got to be the world's biggest swimming venue ever, right?
I would have to think.
I remember 1988 in the RCA Hoosier Dome, and it was Bedford North Lawrence played Concord in the state championship high school basketball game for Indiana. 64,000 people. It was the world's largest crowd to see a high school basketball game. And it was the Indiana State Finals in the
Bedford
RCA.
North.
Well, at the time, it was just the Hoosier Dome. It wasn't
Yeah.
even the RCA Hoosier Dome at the time. It was just the Hoosier Dome. So
Just
now you're putting a
the fact
swimming
that
pool in the
Bedford
middle
had
of Lucas Oil
that much
Stadium.
of an audience is amazing.
Yeah, it's just like it's like the Nebraska women's volleyball filled their football arena. I mean, just the amount of people that
Awesome.
could get in there to watch swimming is going to be something to see. That's for sure.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm looking. I would say to be in the green room in Tahiti, winning the gold medal. That might be
It's on somebody's
top
bucket list.
I don't know how anybody beats that. That's a pretty cool goal right there.
So as we count down those 175 days, we'll keep updating you on the Olympics, and we got one more new sport to bring for you, and then we'll probably get into some of the favorites and different things like that.
All right, I'm looking forward
Sounds
to hearing
great.
it.
I'm excited for the Olympics for sure.
It's going to be a quality summer.
It is. The last time they had the Summer Olympics, wasn't it okay, what is this? It's 2024. Was it 2020? Remember,
Yes.
they didn't have it in 2020. They had to push it to 2021.
Correct.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so now we're only 3 years later, right? Was it 2021 or was it 2022?
Yes. No, 2021.
21. So they've had less time in between to prepare.
3 years should be plenty. I don't want to hear any excuses.
Well, so this was a really big show. We had awesome update on the vets for refs.
That's
And
2 refs.
yeah, vets 2 refs. Thank you very much for my.
So I'm looking forward to watching you guys doing that broad jump. I'll see you soon.
All right, let's see if I can't get you a video.
All right, we'll see you guys
Nice.
soon. Thanks for joining.
Settled on the field.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Settled on the Field. Be sure to email us your questions and suggestions to settledonthefield@gmail.com. Follow us on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Settled on the Field was produced by Spencer McNally. See you next time.